Hey everybody, welcome back to yet another episode of the Emerald Quill. This is episode 10, A Drop of Honey is All You Need. I am your Dungeon Master, Pink, aka it's R.O.B, aka the Unknown, to a couple of people in a Monsters of the Week campaign back 3 years ago, but more on that in a future episode. Maybe not. And we are back once more after taking another break. And honestly, there's just been a lot that I've been wanting to get back into with this campaign, and now we're finally picking up where we left off. We have ourselves a pretty good crew tonight, as always, so let's go and introduce the players. Scorch, who are you playing as?
I am the half-elf sorcerer Drukin Hawthorne.
Very nice. Alex, who are you playing as?
I am the Hobgoblin Paladin Warlock Alvrarz.
Very nice. Sam, who are you playing as?
I am Valka, the emergency food kobold rogue.
Very, very nice. Robert, who are you playing as?
I am Varus, the Eladrin Elf Beast Conclave Ranger.
Alright, and we are going to have ourselves a introduction later on with another individual, with our good friend Izzy over here, but more on that as we continue on with this session. We're going to have ourselves a little bit of time to actually get a glimpse of what their character looks like, but I am so excited, and let's just start off with a good old-fashioned recap. Do y'all remember what happened in the last episode?
I know the last thing that happened last episode. I can't tell you anything else that happened in between, but I know the last thing.
Alright, so, I mean, let's just start with the obvious. Third floor fiasco at the First Toast Tavern. Oh.
That was indeed a fiasco.
Scorch, you wanna
Listen, Drukin never claimed to be a firefighter.
Fair enough. Alright. So, if anybody has any other mentions, if not, then I will pick up some bullet notes.
Yeah, we could do a better recap. So what they're talking, the third floor incident is I go up to the third floor of a tavern and encounter two people that are following us.
Yep.
And they throw what is essentially a Molotov at the floor, and in an effort to put it out so nobody dies and I can escape,
Yep.
I used an ice spell to try and stop it from spreading and put it out, and I only managed to damage the floor enough to collapse the entire floor and plummet down to the remaining floors in fire and splinters.
Jeez Louise. It's, when we say it's a fiasco, it's an absolute fiasco.
We also got involved with the hell mob, I think.
Oh, yeah, no, my old colleagues.
Yeah.
Or one of my old colleagues, and my
Thanks
I
to
guess, boss.
fucking Tuunak.
Yep, so Tuunak ended up getting into a conversation with one of them, and chose not to enforce a deal, which, according to some underground knowledge, taking a deal is better than taking no deal at all, and that is the warning that they received before they disappeared. Another thing that was also discovered along the ways on your way to Biyo was a chest that was already opened and scourged through, that was discarded in a series of bushes. You ended up, I think either one of you, or eventually all of you, eventually discovered that that was a package that was meant to be sent to the Nevermore family, specifically to the address of the First Toast Tavern, which all of y'all are at currently. But before you reached that tavern, you were also encountered by Parable Pete, that offered you residence in his own home, as long as you helped him with his errand of going to each tavern within Biyo, and essentially, go to each tavern to pick up some liquor along the way. So we have that. And the last where we left off is, of course, the third floor fiasco, so let's go ahead and continue where we left off. So Scorch, Drukin, unfortunately, is now kind of just laying in this pile of rubble that was once belonging to the third floor. You see that from everyone else's perspective, from Manchester's to Varus's to Valka as well, and especially to Tuunak, who is making conversation right now with this woman that's known to be Honey, but he doesn't really pay too much attention until like the actual chaotic theme happened, and now you're just witnessing all of this, but you end up hearing from someone that's saying, basically, help. Like, we need to get an ambulance. Isabela is down. I repeat, Miss Nevermore is down. And that is essentially where we left off. So you kind of feel that the crowd is, like, extremely tense. Like, everybody's panicking, but there's not a lot of yelling that's going on, so it's controlled chaos at the moment. How does everyone kind of react to this? And Drukin, for sure, is still alive, but is now realizing the aftermath of what had just happened.
Valka's kind of running upstairs as fast as this little it's can handle.
Okay, so you're
I've
running
crashed down
upstairs.
and I'm on the second floor, yeah?
Yeah.
As I'm waking up dazed and absolutely completely fucked over.
Yeah.
I'm looking around to see who's alive and if what the situation of the fire is, and
So
just trying to get my bearings.
So you essentially look up and you see that there's still like remnants of like licks of flame still on some of the planks on the remnants of the third floor. You do see that there are planks that are slightly burning and flaming up a little bit. That is in the rubble with you, so you have to be careful about how you kind of exit through it. And you do notice that there's some like limbs that are sticking out, so like the occasional hand, the occasional leg that's like popping out. Some are twitching, some are not. You're counting, and there's at least 7 unique body parts that you see sticking out of the rubble. And little by little, you see the patrons of the bar kind of slowly, not slowly, but they're rapidly taking out the rubble so they can pick out the people sunken under there.
Okay, but the fire's mostly out, right?
Fire's mostly...
Or is it still, like, roaring?
Fire's mostly out. It's 90% dissipated, but there's still remnants of the third floor that can be taken down with some
Good that I don't have to do what I should have done in the first place.
However, throughout the midst, you do look over and you see that there are some like there's large plank boards that are resting on an incline, it appears. And all of a sudden, you see a pair of hands immediately come out from underneath the plank, and they grip it and they almost white knuckle grasp it, and then they just toss the plank aside like it was nothing. And with that, a dazed individual comes to, realizing what had just happened. And Drukin, you notice this individual, as we have Izzy over here introduce our lovely new NPC.
Howdy. I am Isabela, Ginny Nevermore. Race unknown. What the fuck is going on?
Drukin, you just see this woman of just like an athletic stature just look at you with hair that is just a mixture of like cyan, aquamarines, and pastel greens, and just it's such a bright series of colors in such wavy locks, but you can tell that the glare from this individual is just dead and delicious at the moment.
There was a fire, and
Yeah, I can see that, dumbass.
I tried to put it out, and it clearly didn't work.
Till I figure out what the hell is going on. You gonna help me get these civilians out of here.
Of course. I'm sorry.
Move your lazy ass and go.
Okay, start helping move rubble and
Okay.
using mage hand where I can. I actually
Okay.
need to ask, did I take damage from this?
You did not take damage from this. You ended up falling in a certain way where no damage was done to you. More damage was done to the environment.
Where all the other tavern patrons broke my fall.
Do you really want to know? Okay.
Oh god.
Hey, Robert. Do me a favor and roll me 7 different d20s.
Dear God.
7 d20s.
Yep.
All right.
One at a time.
14, 13,
Dead. Dead. Okay.
7,
Dead.
8,
Dead. 4 dead.
5,
Dead.
nat 1.
Super dead.
How many more?
1 more.
2.
Super. All the patrons that were sunken in the ash and the rubble. So Scorch, you're like trying to like pull them out too, right? You're just trying to clear out whatever's been happening. You're pulling out these 7 different like limbs that are sticking out, and they are lifeless. Isabela, you notice unfortunately that out of the 7, there's 2 that you recognize as regulars at your tavern that helps you with liquor distribution around the entire town. And you
Please! My boys!
Look how they massacred my boy.
Why?
Oh my
Did this to you?
I'm so sorry.
Was it you?
No.
Then what are you apologizing for? Get out there and help
Your
more
loss.
people.
I'm gonna start hurling things around, or like hurling the rubble out of the way with Mage Hand.
Wait, hold on. Robert, roll me an intimidation check for Izzy right now.
For Izzy?
Yes, they have a +4 modifier.
Do I have to roll a
That is
save
a
for this?
10. A total of a 10.
10? Okay.
Do I have to save this?
No.
Okay.
This intimidation check is purely on like how intense and how reactive you are to this. And it definitely hits you. It's like, I probably should start doing something. Like, you are, in fact, like, a bit unnerved as to what would happen if you don't listen to them.
I'm sorry.
Move!
I am.
All of a sudden, you just see, or actually, rather, you hear Parable P just coming out from, like, another portion of the 2nd floor, just be like, well, I found the alcohol that you... Oh my god. Maurice! Who did this? Isabela, who did this?
I don't know.
Oh, we're gonna be in trouble. Those two are like your aces when it comes to distributing the liquor here.
Well, Pete, be better at your job then.
What
Oh.
the fuck did you just say?
That was out of character.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
I have a
That
question
would have been
about
bad.
this going down right now.
Yeah.
I assume, like, given this is my, like, my hometown, like, I assume I know where generally, like, most of it goes, right?
You
Like,
you
these-
know
Some deliveries.
it generally goes to essentially like a delivery center that
Mhm.
specifically delivers alcoholic beverages to all the other realms. So those are like major shipments where most of her liquor goes to.
Yeah.
And you are aware that those 2 regulars are indeed like the head couriers, and now because they're dead, the operations for liquor distribution is now to a grinding halt because of those 2 deaths. I'm gonna go ahead and roll something right now, and if it rolls a certain odd or even number, all of a sudden, is to Isabela, you see one of the bar patrons that's like near the area where like they're basically at the physical bar, and they're like sitting a couple booths away from Tuunak and Honey right now, and he goes, "Hey, Nevermore, that guy over there, that half elf, yeah, he was the one that caused it, by the way. I saw him I saw him do the whole spell thing on the floor, and he's the reason why your bar's damaged. By the way, can I get another pint?"
I was trying to stop the fire.
Isabela slowly turns their head towards them with just a fiery anger. They say nothing. All they see is red for the moment. They yell out, "Somebody hold me!" as they're just stomping towards them.
Immediately as you do that, you just see Purple Pete gently puts down the alcohol that he's been looking for on a nearby table, and immediately goes to try to basically tries to grapple you to like hold you back. Robert, with a +3 modifier, give me a contested strength check for Nevermore.
May I have sleep on standby?
Yes.
Sleep will be on standby, centered around Isabela.
Yes.
Definitely not preparing to cast shield.
So that's with a +3 modifier to their strength check.
The total is an 8.
8?
Thank
It's a freaking 6. Alright.
Oh my
Sleep
god.
will pop off as soon as like Valka realizes what's going on.
Low.
So
Alright.
let me know when like that goes off, because I know there's some stuff that happens before he would immediately.
Alright. You see that Pete basically tries his best to like kind of like hold back, but to Isabela, there it's just to no avail. Like they show signs of struggle, but she eventually gets out of it. It continues to make their way towards Drukin. Now to Alvrarz and to Valka, you're kind of witnessing this happen, and you just see this woman just approaching Drukin. Does any one of you two that have just witnessed something like this, like, is there anything that you two would like to do?
Question.
Answer.
Would 78 be enough to put them to sleep?
78?
Yep.
No.
Okay, so then I hope you mind if I do ask that, because I just don't want to burn on RP stuff, if that's okay with you.
Okay.
Is there anything to do?
Hold me.
That's really funny, asking like the 2-foot kobold to hold you back.
That's the best chance you got.
Does Alvrarz want to do something? Because Alvrarz is also kind of like a witness to this whole fiasco, and now now you're witnessing the situation between Drukin and this woman.
his ass again.
Bro is going to put his hands up and be like, "None of my business."
No. Fair enough. Alright, so... Alright.
No, it's you.
Oh no, I rolled another natural 1 on Firebolt. I guess it's gonna hit Alvrarz.
You know what? I do have something I'm going to do. I'm gonna be
I'll push you down, Scorch.
So, honestly, right now, Valka's gonna do some really funny things. And by really funny things, I mean cast invisibility, walk up to, well, no, actually, that doesn't work I want to do. Never mind. I forgot I can twice. He's gonna attempt to stop Isabela in various different ways. I don't know how, but he's gonna do an attempt.
Okay. I mean, you're gonna have to give me something. I don't wanna...
Okay, you know what? We're gonna mage hand to try and drag them back.
Okay. So what you're
We're not gonna like hold like we're being.
Oh, I can mage
opposition
hand to
pull, like, force.
push her in the same direction.
I don't know if that's enough, but mage hand go burr.
We could try.
What, you want to try to like push and trip them, or what?
No, like
just keep them away from.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So, okay, so you two want to just use your mage hand and just try to. Okay. So, you know what?
Teamwork.
You know what? Entertain me real quick. Just
Mhm.
give me give me a D100 luck check.
What,
Scorch.
1 or 2?
1.
All right, I feel pretty lucky right now. How lucky do you feel, Scorch?
You know.
Do you feel lucky? I don't think so. So I'm gonna roll it. All right.
Okay.
Is that fine with you, Scorch?
Oh wait, we're not both doing it.
No.
Oh, go ahead.
You already roll?
It's just you.
No.
It's just you, Scorch.
Oh, he rolls it. I
Oh,
thought
I have. Oh, I'm rolling it. Oh.
I believe.
Ah. Natural one.
Are you serious? On a
kid you not.
D100, you rolled a natural 1.
I got 0 and 1.
Let me refer to this table. Ugh.
Jesus.
So, you see that you put your mage hand up. I don't know how Drukin reacts to this, you let me know. But it's almost as if Isabela just took the mage hand, like, took it at, like, the middle finger and the ring finger, and just pushed it to the side as if it ripped the mage hand apart, and just went, and they're still approaching you.
Drukin, while backing up, trying to raise his hand to use mage hand, watches her rip this hand into pieces and is still approaching. I'm still backing up, hopefully
Okay.
towards the stairs,
Okay.
if need be.
I don't think
Okay.
this is a good idea.
So you're doing,
know what?
you're doing it, you're
Wait,
doing it.
Are you walking towards Valka? Because
I
I
hope
haven't
so.
left the stairs. I haven't left
Yeah.
the stairs.
Yeah,
Then yes.
yeah.
So now I can do this. So as soon as if you know they're still approaching,
Yeah.
the minute that Scorch's character comes within touch of Valka, he would attempt to cast invisibility stealthily. If that makes sense. If I could do that.
Yep.
On, of course. Wait, am I saying the right name? I'm forgetting if I'm saying the right name.
I'm Drukin.
Okay, yeah. He would attempt to do that on Drukin, so.
Okay.
I assume that is a slight.
I would say slight. Yeah.
That is a 25.
Oh yeah. You're you're able to do this quite swiftly. Okay.
No.
So you cast invisibility. And this is on Drukin. And
Yep.
Isabela, you watch in a bit of confusion as you just see the very man that just ruined the third floor for you immediately turns invisible in front of you.
I'm a chameleon.
And you're left slightly confused, but mostly disappointed.
If Isabela wasn't already just like stabilizing off of being knocked unconscious for like a second, they would probably try to use their 6 senses, just their 5 senses, to just like find him like a mad dog. But
Valka now
they're
looks
tired
extremely
and confused, so they don't.
Okay.
Hmm.
And not only are Alvrarz and Volko witnesses to this, it's also, as far as Varys is concerned, y'all are also part of like this witnessing as well. You're not like as like if they were to view the group as a whole, Varys and Teddy wouldn't be seen as like part of the group, but you're trailing behind them as if like you've been following them this entire time. So it's you're at the double doors to the entrance of this tavern, and you're also witnessing this as well, and you just watch as the people that you've just encountered and have been with in the Crimson Fields, you just watch as other members of the group just witness Scorch just turning invisible in front of this tired yet frustrated individual. just seemingly lost for a moment.
Well, oh my bad. Sorry.
And with that, Isabela can roll for perception. She has a +2 to the wisdom check.
That gives her a 17.
17. Izzy, your character feels a moment of a pause. It's almost as if time just paused by itself, because you have just witnessed an Eladrin elf at the entrance of the tavern. You do not know who they are, but for some reason you feel as though you should know who they are. And it's just enough for you to break focus on what just happened, as if this attraction is now starting to overtake your senses. For Varys, it's very much the same thing, except you feel like this individual that's looking at you feels like they are an individual that you've known for years, despite you never physically meeting this person before.
And I'm sure I've never met this person before.
You are absolutely sure you've never met them before, yet they contain this familiarity as if you have known them before.
Interesting.
You see that the rest of the bar patrons are kind of just like tossing away all the rubble, like out of a side door, like just beyond the bar, as wood gets thrown out of the side door along with broken pieces of glass that's being like cleaned up. You see this place is starting to get a lot cleaner, starting to look and smell a little bit nicer. Still some people tossing buckets of water up onto like loose pieces of plank, still with flames still appearing until it's just singed out. The tavern is in shambles, but the tavern is under control. I mean, after you've seen what you've just gone through and after just witnessing something like this, what would Isabela like to do in this situation?
Can I do this out of character for
Yes.
like 1 second?
Yes.
Gay panic.
Game panic, alright? That's out of character, folks. It's out of character.
Is it? Is
But
it
the
really?
cannibalism wasn't.
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo!
Calm down.
That's just that. What do you mean? That's just the
It was
truth.
only once.
That's not true.
In character,
Uh-huh.
Isabela would most likely, after being blinded by rage, go in like a bit of a daze for like 5 seconds and notice they're still walking in, looking around. They would try to clear up the situations, say, the place doesn't usually look this shabby. How about I take a seat?
And this is the Varys.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
Varys, before even acknowledging that the bar owner has even acknowledged them or noticed them, is just kind of looking at the carnage, realizing that the party is responsible, shaking their head, and then is finally going to accept the invite from the bar owner and walk in and have a seat at the bar. Now, important question, Pink.
Yeah.
How long has it, how many days has the party been traveling? Because I have not been here.
Truly, a day and a day and a half. If I'm being completely honest.
So there has been a long rest since.
Yes.
Okay. Well, then, in that case, Varus does not appear in the way the party last saw them when they kind of reappear again.
Okay.
Ooh.
Varus will be appearing in the attuned to spring this time. So it's going to be... They're going to have like a much more human-colored complexion this time instead of any tints. So, like your normal human complexion and clothing is going to be like greens and whites and a little more floral than you have seen Varus in the past.
Okay. And I'm not gonna lie, this is definitely like one of my favorites. This is definitely one of my favorites for sure.
May I do something while this is going
Seasons for
down?
Varus or the picture?
The picture, also yes.
So while this is happening, Valka will also cast Illusory Script in, because I assume Drukin hasn't moved at all, being terrified AF.
That
Right.
is
I'm just, yeah,
okay.
I'm just there invisible.
He's gonna he's gonna designate Drukin as the sole person that can understand it,
Okay.
and he is going to give directions to the jailhouse and say, "Via in an alley, I'll pick you up in a second." So that's what he sees, like directions to like a location to just say, "Pick an alley, stay there."
Okay. I will, with that, walk down the stairs of the tavern and go to head out the door. But before I do, I'd like to look around for Manchester and see what he's up to.
Okay. So you're invisible, but you just walk
Yeah.
down the stairs. Okay. As you do so, you do look around and you do notice that Manchester is, strangely enough, sitting against the wall of the front entrance of the tavern, and he's like looking up at the third floor as if he's in like this philosophical state with like a trance like glare on him. And not only that, but sitting next to him is Torrel, Shadow's character. And both of them are just kind of locked in a similar trance-like state. And they have not moved since you've laid eyes on them.
Does it seem like there's something wrong with them from them just sitting here? Or are they just...
It's abnormal, but not enough to where it may be a genuine concern. You would have to notice them a little bit further for you to determine if that's something worth investigating.
Mhm.
But as you do so, you just walk down. I'm gonna say as you do, there's noticeable creaks that you make as you make these footsteps.
Can I make a stealth check?
No. You've already done your action.
I'm really bad at stealth. It probably
You-
won't go well.
With Izzy's passive perception being a 16, Isabela, as you're like catering to Varys at the moment, you then hear creaks that you know belongs to the stairs, and you look and you know for sure there's no one there, but that was the last place where you have last seen the half-elf that admitted that they destroyed the third floor.
One second, darling. I got a rat to take care of.
Can I attempt to do some more shenanigans?
You can if you wish to.
I also have shenanigans after this.
Hopefully not, because then that goes to waste.
Well, if it comes to it, I'm prepared for something.
I do want to take out Mage Hand again and cause more creaks at the other staircase, and then unsummon, do just create a lot of creaking around to, because I assume it's pretty clear that's like, hey, wait a second, no
Well, wait a
one's
minute.
there. Like locks on. Like is that?
No, does
like,
invisibility
ready to roll for that,
require
or-
concentration?
No.
No?
No.
Oh,
This is
so
Not in
I'm
this
gonna
case.
check.
because Mage Hand does.
Are you sure?
It says
Am I-
it says 1 minute. Is that not?
Only if it
It'll-
says
Maybe it doesn't work.
concentration.
Yeah, like
Never mind.
concentrations. Yeah. So he is going to like try to create more creaking
Okay.
to throw it off because I assume this isn't a kind of a sly look. It is. Wait a second. I know that man was last seen there. Like that. Like mission. Like, am I assuming the situation correctly?
Yeah, like for Izzy's character, she's like, no, like I've definitely seen people that have like pulled invisible pranks before in this town, especially in this tavern, to get free liquor. Like she's used to this, and she has a plan in mind.
Yeah. So I want to create more creaking as stealthily as I can to see if I can try and throw it off to give Drukin more time to get out.
Okay. You're reacting to all of this that's kind of happening for the shenanigans. Go ahead and roll insight a little bit.
Can I? What would break invisibility? Like, what could I do that wouldn't break it?
Not cast a spell.
Even
Or
if it's just somatic?
Is there a modifier on insight?
+3.
That will be a 15.
Any spell or attack. I assume I have to roll something.
Uh,
I would assume.
not in this case, because there's nothing that's like trying to prevent you from doing this. Okay, so with that in mind, so for Isabela, you notice the creaks, like the first set that was made by Drukin. You then, as you kind of like look, you hear from a different portion of the staircase a set of creaks. But these, to you, does not sound like it was authentic ones. These sound like ones that are meant to distract you from past assumptions.
So he has a partner in crime. Alright, I'll find him out later.
Does Varys hear this?
I mean, I'd assume so. It's
Yes.
not like I'm trying to hide it.
Yes.
Like,
No,
he's
no, no.
not-
I don't mean the creaks. I mean what
Oh,
Isabela just said.
Yes.
Can I roll insight to see if this is the party?
Yes.
Okay.
I get to roll something.
That's an 11.
Okay. You've been with the group long enough to know things like this would not have happened without the crew's involvement.
Mhm.
Can I see Isabela going back into a rage?
It's more of a silent rage at this point, because, like, they were distracted, they were unconscious, sad, saw red, distracted, and now is just angry.
They went through everything.
Can Varys visibly see this on your face, though?
I mean, they're a little too tired to mask, so yes.
Varys is going to try to hold Isabela back at this point.
Okay.
What do I need to do? Contested
Contested strength.
strength.
Darling,
Alright.
what are you doing?
Alright, what's Isabela's strength save?
3.
15. Alright, so Isabela got a 15, Varys got a 17.
Okay.
Darling, please.
Listen, I know the hooligans responsible for this. They're mostly harmless.
They killed 2 of my men.
Yeah. And we can deal with that later.
And 5 other of my patrons.
Right. Let's not get hasty here, though. They're mostly harmless. They're just dumb sometimes. They
Darling.
don't have the experience they probably need to be out dealing with people on a normal basis. They're used to killing.
Isabella
They're
just
adventurers, hun.
breathes.
Is this an obvious conversation that's taking place?
Yep.
Right.
That's
Falka's
like-
gonna walk on over.
Walk on. Wait, what?
What? Like, I asked if the conversation was obvious.
Ah, yes.
Like, is it obvious? Are you trying to be quiet, Varys, with it, or do you just not care?
I mean, I'm not making it obvious to the party that I'm calling them dumb or anything. I am holding her back and making it obvious that I'm trying to hold her back.
I'm gonna be real. Ain't no one else around here that do it like us, so not much leave to the imagination.
Right.
But
It's also a matter of if you would immediately notice Varys, because I imagine that I left Teddy outside because
Yes.
of Teddy's size, and you have not seen Varys attuned to Spring.
so let's see if I can. Let's take it a step back. Let's see if I can even recognize Varys.
Right.
So then, what would that be, Pink, to try and recognize?
You can do a perception.
All right.
You can.
I don't know who that is. So with that, things change.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
That's a weird person.
I understand, darling.
In the
Just-
mist.
Just
Hold me.
breathe for a couple minutes. Yes, that's the plan. We're just gonna take some nice breaths for now.
I can make it worse.
Isabella
my
is visibly shaking from anger.
So,
Mm.
if y'all are done, Valka would approach, or like when the conversation seems to be getting to an end, he would approach. Specifically Isabela.
Approach Isabela.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Isabel, you see a 2 foot tall, like red kobold with like looking like they broke as all hell approach you.
What is
like-
a child?
First off, I'm offended. I'm gonna skip past that for just a second, but I know this isn't the best time for bad news, but he would then take out a letter, or a letter with a you said a like purple wax crown,
Purple wax crown. Yes.
and he would hand it to you, and like this was a part of a already opened chest. I have left it there for fear of tampering with it, but I will be more than willing to show you where it is once the time is right, and hand over the letter.
You see that. So you see the contents of what the letter says, Isabella. Basically says like, long story short, this shipment is meant to be sent to the Nevermores, and this is coming from a high rank customer, a high rank courier actually, that uses their liquor in the royal courts in another realm, and the fact that the mention of this letter in particular being tampered with is something that is incredibly unheard of because of their reputation, and it understandably creates a great sense of concern over you.
Thank you.
And I'll see if I can. He'll look at the roof and like, or the ceiling, like, I'll see if I can find someone, but I might know someone who may be able to help for a significantly lower price if they still owe me something.
That'd be appreciated, darling.
I do hope for the best. I sadly do have to take my leave. And yeah, he'll walk away, look at Alvrarz, and say, "We need to go pick up a friend." Like, just a big smile on his face.
Meanwhile, you see Parable Pete finally making his way down the stairs after being extra careful on the staircase not to drop the bottles of liquor he has in his hand. Alright, I'm ready too.
We want to take that back to your place first and get the others. I do know my way around this city rather quickly. Shouldn't be too long.
I'll drop this off and then I'll head over to the other taverns. Honestly, after what I just saw, I think it'd be best if I just do the errands all myself. Why don't you take this time to get familiar with this part? While you get familiar with this part of the town, a lot of people are still getting ready for the Jubilee Festival. I might as well.
So Alvrarz is gonna walk over to Pete. You sure about that, mate? You sure you don't want a little bit of assistance?
If anything, I can.
Car.
I mean, honestly, if anything, you know what? Why not? You seem like a pretty good man yourself, so yeah, you can come along with me, buddy.
All right.
All right.
Let's do it then.
All right. To the rest of y'all, just meet back at my place. You already know what it looks like. It's the tall one with the red stained glass window on the second floor, the shape of the circle. Looks like an apple. Just come back to
I may be a little bit late dealing with some.
Is it an apple?
Yeah. Alright. We'll see you shortly. I'll make sure I'll heat up some dinner when you come back.
Mhm.
Alright. Alvrarz, wasn't it? Come on, let's go.
That's me. Alright.
And you see Alvrarz and Pete walk out the door and make a left, and they're starting their own journey. Meanwhile, to the rest of you, I think Izzy's still grappled by Varys.
Most likely.
If she's calmed down, I've let her go, but only if she is calmed down.
Okay.
Great question. Izzy, are you calmed down?
There's slight rage, but there's no sign or people around that had anything to do with the incident to Isabela's knowledge, so they do calm down.
Then I release them.
Perfect.
And then I start ordering alcohol.
God damn it.
In droves.
I knew it was gonna take a turn.
Droves.
Oh, you wanna know what makes this worse? Right before the session, like the friend's house that I went to, his dad and I, well, he smoked a cigarette, I smoked a pipe. So, yeah, that was fun.
Nice.
Cool.
Dusk, do you remember much of Varys from the first campaign? Were you around for it?
I was around for some of it. More of the latter half. It was after the Banshee thing. Yeah.
Fair enough. You may have seen Varys attuned to spring at some point then.
Ah.
I have, yeah. Like, myself, yes.
Right.
How about?
You know where this is going then.
No. This ain't gonna be too much fun, man.
Okay, so as you are ordering, and you you see that there's remnants of the menu that's still left over, but you do see that there's a line that says special, ask for the shot, and the shot is written in all caps.
I don't wanna.
I will turn to Isabela and ask, what is this the shot that is referenced here?
Oh no.
Oh, the shot?
Yeah,
Really?
the shot. Yeah, what is it?
Oh no.
A bit of a mix of, this and that. If I told you what it was, then it wouldn't be the shot, would it?
Oh
guess
god,
not.
Those
I'll take
are not
3.
the fun ones then. What?
Just about paint thinner.
Are you sure?
It's just straight Everclear.
Yeah, of course. Oh, why wouldn't I be sure?
Just a few Just a little bit takes out a man cold.
Mm.
All
Well,
right, darling.
in case you couldn't tell, I'm not your average person.
Yeah, I can see that, darling.
Hey, yeah, I can see that.
And as soon
I love it here.
as a patron, like, there's one patron in particular that hears the shot. I'll take 3. You just hear, whoa, and he immediately goes, and he goes, sorry, that was meant to be more. I should have rehearsed that a bit more.
That's it. No, it genuinely sounded like fucking. I'll be right back.
Okay, and they they immediately go near the table and they're like, "Do the shot, do the shot," and you hear this, and then another patron joins, "Do the shot, do the shot," and then there's a third one completely unrelated that goes, "Do the wait, what about the rubble? Shut up, Thomas. Do the shot, do the shot."
I start looking around and I'm like, is this some sort of like local thing? I don't know what to call it, but like
It's a
Is this
test of
not-
bravery.
oh, I gotcha. Cool.
You really
As
don't
soon
have
as they're served up and Varys can hear this chant like starting around, Varys just takes all 3 of them like in one hand and stacks them in such a way that they'll like pour into each other and just takes all 3 at once. Yes.
And all of a sudden you just like you hear the chants, "Do the shot, do the shot." Like everybody's like, oh.
You still standing, darling?
Oh yeah, of course. Why wouldn't I?
Constitution saving throw with disadvantage.
Oh, this is new. With the disadvantage, saving throw, that is a 15.
That fails. All right,
Ooh.
we need to use the table.
Not the table.
Varys has actually
Not the
failed a
buddies.
con saving throw for alcohol while attuned to spring?
The con for just one shot was 12. Then you took 2, then it bumped up to 13. Then you took another, then it bumped up to that. So, yes.
Right. No, I understand that. It's just this is Varys we're talking about.
Varys is a drunk. Confirmed.
So, you...
Yes.
So,
Wait, I missed it. Fuck.
so to Isabela... So Isabela, she knows the effects of the shot and how, like, interesting people can get.
Interesting's putting it nicely.
Varys,
Mhm.
you feel like yourself for like one moment, and then you no longer feel like
I do.
yourself.
Oh.
Izzy,
Better or worse?
Izzy, your character, like, all of a sudden, like, goes to the bar in quick succession, pulls out a mason jar, and puts it right in front of Varys. You then... And this is, like, standard procedure. So Varys, like, you're seeing this happen, like, all in one motion. You see... Izzy, what Izzy's gonna do right now is standard routine that she does with just about everyone that takes a shot and fails. She will grab you by, like, your armpits, and she will lift you out of the seat. And as you get lifted out the seat, you feel the physical state of matter that your body is at, and it slowly turns into this insipid liquid as you all watch Varys turn into a liquid state as the contents of Varys fills up the mason jar right in front of Isabela.
Oh.
Good thing Alvrarz isn't there to see that because he's out with Pete.
Oh.
So that's what the shot is.
Oh,
So at the moment, this is the following conditions of what is now for Varus. Varus, your HP is now at 1. If the,
Oh,
if the jar breaks, it is the same. If the jar breaks, it is the same as you getting 3 death saves.
Oh,
When it breaks, you will turn into a gaseous form and need to be contained in a different container. If not contained, and if the gaseous form of your creature reaches to an elevation of 100 feet, you will dissipate with no chance of being revivified.
oh.
oh my god.
So I take my dagger.
So I get a hammer, right? I have an idea.
This is
Uh-huh.
your best weapon. Don't do this.
I hope you know this is standard protection procedure. Whenever somebody takes this shot, they have them like have a protection squad, because if Isabela can't do it, they have somebody else do it. And since there's a crisis going on in the background, Isabela's guarding this jar with their life.
Okay.
I always try to warn them.
And by the way, this is not only the liquid contents of Varus themselves, but also any equipment that they had on them is also melted. So there's no physical remnant of them whatsoever.
Wow.
Damn, darling.
Petition
Even
to
as
put
a slut,
Varus
you're
in a
pretty.
bug juice bottle.
Oh my god. You... Okay, so...
Glub, glub, glub.
So, with that,
Varus
Izzy,
berry.
you choose to protect Varus's life in that jar with your life. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
You do have like a certain strap, like a leather strap, that basically it will act as a holder
Hey, quick question.
for a capsule that will hold the jar in place while you travel. What's up?
Can I put Varus to or filter?
What?
And if so, what would happen?
What?
That is something I never thought I would ever had to think about, but I'll let you know on Saturday.
Sick.
Anyways, so with that being said, Valka, you already gave instructions to Drukin, and you're what is it? Valka, you're still in the tavern, or no? You're going out to the alley that Drukin was
Yeah.
in, right?
Yeah, I would most likely beat him there, though.
Okay, so at this point, y'all arrive basically at an alley, and in fact, Scorch, I'm gonna ask you choose a number between 1, 2, or 3.
2.
2? Okay. You basically are in an alley between the jailhouse and the police station. So this is already like, so you've already gone out of your way of like going through at least a busy part of the town to get to the alleyway. And thankfully, you were able to maneuver your way through the crowd in order to get there without stoking attention. With Valka, you're not invisible, but you do know your way around the alleys as well.
And then Birch and Gober.
Yeah. So both of you are essentially in the same alley, and at this point, I would say like you can basically like go out of invisibility so that way y'all can see each other. But how do y'all kind of carry out what is going to transpire at this moment? Y'all were able to get Drukin out of the tavern safely without experiencing the wrath of Isabela.
Was I there first?
You were. You
Okay.
were actually able to get to the alleyway first.
Well, as I see Valka coming in, or coming down the alley. I approach him a little, like, Valka, I'm here.
Volka jumps for a second just because has an hour passed from then an hour no.
A little over an hour has passed because like
Okay,
ever since
so then
ever
okay.
since the shot took place, that shot basically took up the majority of like a little bit of the free time while Parable Pete and Alvrarz was out, and then the rest of the crew that's not here at the moment, they're kind of just dealing with their own situation. Torrel with Manchester, and then Tuunak with Honey. So quite a bit has happened, and you're already able to see him.
Good thinking with the invisibility, you can.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
Volka has no words for like the emotions he's currently going through. Like, there's not even written on his face. He's just confused. Like, he just is at this point.
I know it was none of it makes sense, but when I went up to the third floor, there were two people there, who were talking about us and that knew we were there, but before they disappeared, they threw some kind of vial at the ground that lit the whole room on fire. I was trying to stop the fire, and I guess I broke the floor.
Can Volka attempt to insight?
Yes.
Insight you.
Yes.
That's the truth.
That's a 20. Okay.
That's exactly what happened.
I assume a 21 is more than enough to be like,
Yeah, you're able
He
to
does
notice from just behavior and just your overall interactions with them that this isn't something that they would just make up just for a story.
all right. So here's how we're gonna do this. And Volka's gonna try and think. Does he know any a little bit more than corrupt people on the force?
You know that there are some undercover people in the police force that are genuine good people, but because of the lack, or I should say, the lack of police resistance, they're trying to go more covert with their operations, and you do know a couple of them that play as buskers. For those of you that do not know what buskers are, they are street performers that will play live music or vocals with like a tip jar or just a container that holds money, and they will just perform. You do know that there are buskers stationed at almost every corner of like an intersection, and a good amount of them are actually undercover police.
So then I do know some, like, not personally, but like enough to like I can get a favor to say
Yeah.
like, hey, and like if like
Yeah.
he's gonna go try and find the ones he's talked to the most. Like, he's gonna tell Drukin just stay here for a little bit longer. I'm gonna see if I can work some magic to get this whole thing
Okay.
fixed.
Am I now visible?
Yeah, you are visible.
Yeah.
Invisible.
I'm gonna go ahead and it is time for the encounter. Alright.
Huh.
So
What? I didn't hear what you said.
it is time
Bring it on.
for the encounter.
Okay, thank you.
Dreamscape battle.
So Sam, I'm gonna
Am
ask
I,
you to
am I missing combat again? God damn it.
I don't
Sam,
know.
I'm gonna ask you to roll me a d20, and Alex, I'm gonna ask you to roll me a d20 as well.
Okie dokie. 1 second.
Are you even able to?
The
Are you
rolls,
even able to, Dusk?
the rolls that you are rolling are for each other, not for yourself.
So just a straight D20?
Yep, nothing to it.
That's a 19.
So wait, I'm rolling for Sam?
Yeah, and you're rolling a d20, nothing else.
Yeah. Sam, you lucky bitch, nat 20.
And, don't worry, we both
I
got
told them
good.
that's a 19, don't worry.
Yes. Another reminder that high number correlation does not necessarily correlate to good things. It's
That's
always
Okay,
fair.
I thought this was checks, honestly.
Hence how we
Sick.
began the campaign.
Oh, fuck.
So,
I think I rolled 4 that time.
So, I will keep that in mind. Alright. Sam, you notice that there is a busker that's actually not far from the alley that you and Drukin are in. And you see it's like this... you see that it's this gnomish woman that is playing a guitar that's almost 6 times her size, which is pretty standard for like a human per se.
Mhm.
And she's playing her heart out. She's strumming, she's rocking, she's going hard at the strings. And there's a lot of people that are attracted to it. And you know her to be not a cop, but a person that knows their way around the government. So she does have some connections, but not as concrete as the ones you would get from the undercover buskers. uh, you see her kind of playing her heart out, but then in a split second, you see her eyes make contact with yours, Valka, and she goes back to singing in like the usual glance and smile. But now you know she's noticed you.
Mhm.
As she's like wrapping up her number and her song, she's like, thank you, everybody. We're gonna take, well, I'm gonna take a 10-minute break. Get me something to eat, and then I'll be back with some more performances. Jubilee Festival is tomorrow, everyone, so if you want to see me and support me out there, I'm going to be wearing this awesome red dress with black flowers in front of it, and going to have my special guitar, so it's going to be a great time. Thank you. Mwah. And she quickly puts the guitar down. She, like, handles it, like, she picks it up from, like, the underside and places it on a guitar stand. And she then sits. She's sitting on like a tall soapbox, and she just sits on the edge, and her feet are just dangling, and she's swinging them back and forth, and she's looking in your direction, but not directly at your eyes. So you know at this point she's noticed you, but I think she's trying to like say or like beckon you forward.
Valka is gonna do a kind of like a. It always ends. Like, imagine if this goes wrong, and he'll approach, take out, call it 4 gold,
Okay.
put it in the jar.
As soon as you put the 4 gold in, she's like, whoa, hey, whoa. I'm not trying to ask you for money. Wait, hold on. I haven't even played a song for you. And she takes out the 4 gold and she gives it back to you.
No, it is, call it, uh,
Oh.
in a potential favor, or a repayment for a potential favor.
Oh. Might as well keep it in the jar then. Well, I did not think I would see you again.
Neither did I, but here I am, and funnily enough, almost the same circumstances. Something goes wrong, a favor might be needed, see what can happen.
Do you always tend to get in trouble this often? Or are you just going on a hot streak?
I say this is more of a hot streak.
Well, what type of trouble have you been getting yourself into?
I assume word's gonna spread pretty quick, but the, 1 second. I forgot the name of the tavern. A little bit of an incident at the First Toast Tavern.
Oh boy.
First time I'm not involved in it, but I got someone who
It's about the
probably is.
third floor collapsing.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's been talking about it. There's a couple of people from the bar that witnessed the event and has been spreading the news like wildfire in the streets.
Any way to get a little bit of a lesser,
Well,
albeit probably not by much, punishment for whoever did it?
well, unfortunately, whoever did do it definitely caused a bit of a blow to Isabela's business.
Hmm.
I can already tell there's some people that are trying to avoid some of the brands that she's been putting out this year. Woman's been working pretty hard ever since, the rest of her members departed. She's the only Nevermore here, but she's been holding her own. But I think this is truly the first time she's going to be challenged with not a full deck of cards.
Of course, of course. It gets. Why wouldn't I expect that?
I don't know, but there's definitely a lot of regulars that are kind of turning their back against her. It's a bit sickening, but that's just the reality. So, you put the gold in, you're asking me for a favor. What's up?
Like I said, see if you can either get some poor schmuck in there, or do what I kind of do best, see if I know another person that can break out or something.
Schmuck. Okay.
Of course, it's not going to be for free. Nothing ever is.
no, but nowadays I think not only money is precious to me, but so is time. I got a job for you. You do this job and you won't have to pay me any more in gold. If you're willing to accept it. And I'm not gonna lie, you're probably going to need you and whoever that person in the alley is.
When have I ever turned down a job?
Well, it's definitely gonna keep you fed, because with time comes some good food. And I know you like stealing cheese whenever you get the chance. I can smell
Takes out a piece of cheese.
I can smell it again. See? There. Anyways.
Is bro a mouse or a kobold?
Anyways. Gather your crew. Meet me back here in about an hour. I'll get a job for you, but then we'll go from there. Okay?
Alright, easier said than done.
No problem. And don't worry, it's not going to be a likely job. I know Jubilee Festival's coming up. A lot of the crime networks are claiming their peace treaty so that way they can handle the festival with respect, but don't be surprised if there's any corrupts coming into Biyo than corrupts trying to control Biyo.
Yeah, speaking of corrupts, have you heard anything about constructs heading in? Or that has to spread?
Actually, yeah. And she kind of like looks to and from and she goes, "You didn't hear this from me, but the first boss, the original boss of the network, I never see the day that he would ever touch a construct with his grimy hands, but there were some that were heading his way towards his entrance. Definitely do not look like the BO constructs. They're pricey. He's probably doing more shady dealings. Just don't know who. It's gonna be difficult."
Yeah. Of course you can hear this from me, but coming in, about 5 of them. Footprints in the mud.
Yeah. Oh, I know this kind of seems a bit weird, but here. I was thinking about going after this bounty target, but I don't think I want it anymore, so you can have it.
Alright.
And you see that it's a wanted poster for a hobgoblin that looks incredibly similar to Alvrarz, with a sign saying "Wanted, Dead or Alive," with "Dead" circled, reward 2,000 platinum.
Valka, like, it looks like a flash of recognition for a second before it's like, no. Huh. I'll have to keep an eye out. Don't know how long I plan on staying in town.
Right. I'll pretend I didn't see anything.
As if I pretend I haven't heard anything.
An hour. Don't be late. And she gets back up and starts tuning the guitar, and she kind of looks to you, smiles, and then makes the gesture to like shoo.
Yeah. Little chuckle, heads back towards the alley.
Okay. As you do so, Scorch.
Yep.
Give me a perception check.
Is that 9 plus 13.
13. You don't really notice anything. You hear like
No
water.
shit.
You hear water like gently dripping down from a rainwater pipe. But you don't really notice anything in particular until you feel something warm emitting from your hip.
I look down.
You look down and you see about a slit 8 inches wide and 5 inches deep that's just been formed with no sign of a blade that's ever entered your body. You turn around and you see no trace of whoever did this. Please take 12 points piercing with
Oh.
with 26 points damage, please.
So I'm taking 38 damage
Yes.
right now.
Yep.
Well, immediately I'll react and try to like patch myself up to not suffer from your bullshit bleed damage.
Okay. And we are introducing the bleed effect.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to stop.
Yep. So as
It's medicine.
Yes. So for those that do not know about the bleeding effect, that is actually a brand new system that I'm going to try to implement. The bleeding effect. So every playable character, and that also includes you, Izzy, will have 4 boxes. 4 boxes, each representing a severity level. When physical damage is performed on you, piercing, bludgeoning, slashing, that exceeds a certain number, a box is marked. Bleeding will occur, and disadvantages at higher damage are applied when attacking. The chart is provided in the main chat, and since Scorch took 12 points piercing, he will get lacerations and noticeable bleeding, as well as disadvantages on his attacks unless he makes a medicine check that will determine the time that it takes to fully patch it up.
Yeah. Which I need to...
And, by the way, this is all... What happened to Scorch happened during the interaction between Valka and the gnome.
Mm.
So, Valka, as you head... I'm assuming you went back to the alleyway, right?
Yeah, I went back to where I left.
You you look and you do see Drukin with a fresh wound on his abdomen.
I rolled a natural 1.
Karma.
Help!
Do you say that in character?
If I'm seeing Valka come back to me, right?
Yeah.
Well, as I'm trying to like patch it up, I look up to him like I have no idea what just happened to me. Help!
Valka is first going to look around. I assume alleyway. Yeah, alleyway is mostly in dim for me at this point.
Yeah.
With my passive, do I see anything, or do I need to actually roll to see if I see something?
You would need to roll.
Okay, and is this within sun? Like, I walked into the alleyway. Is that in sunlight right now?
No.
Okay.
You dark vision?
No, I have sunlight sensitivity.
What's that?
Disadvantage on attack rolls and perception whenever I'm trying to perceive is in direct sunlight.
Okay. That's good then.
Sometimes I can get rid of it, not all the time.
Shambles.
Was that right? Yeah, okay.
Okay. So
A 15.
Okay, so you don't notice anything off the top of your dome as you look around, but you do notice that there are scratch marks along the sides of the walls. They're faint, but you know from experience that these scratch marks are not caused by fingernails of any sort. It's caused by plates of armor that scraped up against each other. These aren't recent, but you notice that these scratch marks are happening at a certain height that indicates that it came from a tall creature. What you also notice on the ground next to a puddle is that there is a scrap of red leather cloth. To your knowledge, you're not aware of anyone that wears that type of fabric, but you do find it next to Scorch's feet, or Drukin's feet.
It was a communist.
I'm gonna try and pick up the red cloth and hold on to it just for like a later kind of thing.
Okay.
Look at Drukin, and then it's like, what? Poor. Let's see if I can patch you up. If not, we have to find our other friends. And I'm gonna attempt medicine to help out.
Okay. Oh.
I don't. You know what? Valka was never a medic, so it's like.
What did you get?
I got a 2.
A 2.
Ugh.
I'm not the healer here, so he's gonna.
At this rate,
Well, if we die, if I die, I'll get one.
You know who could have helped?
Not you.
You would have just murdered me.
I said that's why I said could have.
We don't need that right now. We don't need this negative energy coming from you.
We just need a healer.
We
It's
need
all-
positive energy. So he's gonna like think for a second.
Oh no! Varys is goo too, so Varys can't heal it.
I have a question
My
for
brother
you.
in Christ, you have a paladin.
Yes, we have a healer. He's just not with us right now.
It's me.
I didn't know paladins healed.
Yes.
Understandable.
Oh
Are you
my
kidding me?
lord.
I knew they could do support. I didn't think it was like a big
I'm
part
not
of them.
that much of an asshole.
So,
You're an
Yeah.
oathbreaker.
What the fuck do you think there's a bounty in my head?
Pink, question for you.
Yeah.
Can I get do I know a rough estimate of where they, like, how long it would have taken to get to each place to see where if I could meet them at a certain tavern?
To
I'm
me-
trying to see if I
That's a
can,
good question.
I'm trying to see if I can big brain away so I can run into both Pete and Alvrarz at the same time while they're on their runs, like on their walk still.
What?
You can probably intersect them if you were to match like a fast walk. Because your way and your route, you can intersect them back at Pete's house in about 3 hours. Because at this point, you're on the side where like most of the setup for the Jubilee Festival is occurring. So there's going to naturally be a lot of delays, and even in the alleyways, it's going to be stocked full of like surplus of festival supplies. So some of the routes that you're familiar and are efficient are going to be blocked off.
All right, so would I know what's more reliable around the festival if the streets or alley are more reliable in
This-
terms of getting from A to B?
This is the first time where going through the streets would be more efficient.
All right, so then what Valka's gonna do is not do anything to help, but that red cloth, he's gonna kind of like just hand it to Drukin and say, just hold it on the wound for right now. Should be able to meet up with them in a little bit. So I don't know if that helps,
Okay.
but he's gonna give the red cloth to Drukin to put on the.
Alright, and are y'all going to start the journey of like walking through the streets?
I would say so. That's all we kind of have to do at this point.
Are we able to fix me while
No.
we're walking?
No.
I mean, yeah, we both rolled our medicine.
God.
Your medicine checks are not efficient for you to even figure out a procedure to start healing.
Okay.
Wait,
I'm
This-
just at disadvantage though, right?
yeah.
Disadvantage
For attack?
disadvantages on attacks.
Okay.
So I have no, never mind. So yeah, I guess we just start trying to meet up with the rest of the party,
Okay.
given as it's just me and him alone right now.
Okay, but just to confirm, you are walking through the streets, right?
Actually,
I don't like
before we walk, thank you for reminding me, Pink. Very cool of you. You should have just said, "All right," you start walking.
I'm not that much of a villain.
You may not
Uh-huh.
be that not much of a villain, but stupid decisions are stupid decisions. He's gonna look at Drukin and be like, "Do you have a hood or anything to cover your face right now?"
I do actually. I have a hood on my overcoat I can pull out.
Keep that up.
Yeah.
You know what? Do I have others? Do I have 2 sets of clothes? Because then that'll really be big brain.
My clothes
Like-
do kind of
Just
stand
make
out,
him
to be
thick.
fair.
Make him
Huh?
thick with all the clothes.
He is good. I forgot if I have another set of clothes. If it's just one. No, it doesn't even. We're 2 different sizes. Never mind. All right. If you could cover your face or like mouth, very much appreciated. The word has spread quicker than I thought.
I can I'll like pull the overcoat hood up over my head and like lift the collar of my shirt and my vest as much as I can to like cover my face.
Okay. Meanwhile, Scorch, remove 1 health point.
Oh.
Oh. So it's probably. Wait. I've seen the wound, right?
Yeah.
Like before. Can I check to see if that correlates with any weapon I would have known be used on the like specifically by people who don't want to be noticed? Or no, yeah, just if that matches anyone's weapon I would have known, not known per se, but you know, like You know what I'm trying to say? Like if it just looks like a familiar swipe.
It does not look familiar to you. This is a unique. This is a unique wound that has been created.
I feel
Before
like
we
combat
leave-
would be a really bad thing, but it would give us a better chance. Me a better chance at a medicine check.
Valka size like
Bug.
another assassin on the streets. It seems like if you didn't notice him.
I definitely didn't.
All right. Well,
Actually,
hopefully
Pink,
we
while
can't
we're
do this.
while we're walking, can I do like
You
a
are
perception,
walking?
like as we're going to start walking before we do?
Okay.
Can I do some kind of like check to like feel what what kind of magic might be around us or something?
Arcana check.
Sure. Well, that or perception, I would think.
Let's do perception. Let's do.
Okay.
And that'll
It's the
leave
same
you on a
it's
final.
the same bonus.
That'll leave
anyway.
you on a final detail.
Oof. I don't see fucking shit.
What did you get?
3 or no, it's a 7 total.
Don't you have detect magic, my guy?
I do. There's,
My boy, if you
Just
want to
use that.
try and
yeah,
just
I should probably do
for the
that.
future, if you want to try and find magical things, that's usually your best bet.
I'm legit. I'm over perception entirely. I haven't rolled a double digit on perception once this campaign.
Yeah, like detect magic is your best bet if you want to try and find
Good.
magical things.
Yeah, I'll use detect magic then, if you will allow me, Pink.
Yeah.
Okay. Perception. Tough stat. So what? With detect magic.
Good choice.
God.
You notice that there is a high-level magic source directly behind Valka.
Like the way that we're about to start going.
No, right behind you. That's in the same alley.
Oh. Fuck.
And we're gonna turn our attention to Alvrarz and Pete.
Oh yeah.
So you and Pete are basically just like maneuvering your way towards the crowd. And as you go through, for Alvrarz, you notice that there's a lot of kids that are like looking at you like fascinated. It's as if it's like the expression that kids get in real life when they go visit the aquarium for the first time and they see a shark in real as they see a shark for the first time up close. They're fascinated by you. Even one of them is like, "Whoa! Look at that person!
Look at that guy.
That guy looks strong." Another kid just goes, "That guy looks cool." And there's just one kid be like, "That guy smells. They really need a shower. They really need a shower." And as you're going through this, Pete's just kind of like mumbling like a song to himself. It doesn't really have like a rhythm or anything. He's just like, "Got some liquor in my hand. Whiskey, 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 whiskey. 2 shots and I'm good for the night. Where is my socks?" And he's going over and he's visiting some of the other taverns. You know where he. In fact, Dusk, roll me a d20 real quick. Nothing to it, just roll me a pure d20. So y'all are kind of like, yep. So y'all are visiting like the small lonesome tavern, the one with like a yellow sign above it. Then you visit like the Pig and Princess tavern, and you're collecting like bottles of liquor, and people are just decorating for the Jubilee Festival. And what did you roll?
6.
Okay, so as you do that, there's not really much that's happening. Besides from one thing that you're starting to notice. You're noticing that the same kids that were in awe of you, a few minutes later, you see the same kids walking. So the kids, when you encountered them the first time, they were walking in the opposite direction. But then you notice that those same kids, those 3, are now walking in the same direction, but are not matching your pace necessarily, but they're walking down the street the same way you are. as Pete is kind of like mumbling to himself, like just unaware of a lot of stuff as you maneuver through the crowds, you notice that the kids walk back. Now they're not even making eye contact with you. They're not even making eye contact with you. They're just walking to and from, and it's starting to get a little odd to you.
Okay.
Finally, they do one more pass, walking in the same direction, and the kids, one of them is like this little human girl, and she bumps into you, and it's one of the girls that's like, "Oh, you're so cool," and she bumps into you. It's like, "Oh, sorry," and she like rambles to herself, sorry, while she's like holding her head in her hands, and she's like walking away, avoiding eye contact from you. Pete finally takes notice and kind of like matches your stride and goes, "Hey, something happened to you? What did you do?"
That's a long story, my friend.
Well,
Quite long, actually.
I don't know. It seems a lot of the kids really like. Yeah, it seems a lot of the kids really like some of the new people when they come over, but not with you. Especially for those three, they always like welcoming anyone new, but not them. I wonder why. Anyways, let's go forth. And at this point, he's kind of carrying like a milk crate that has different bottles of different sizes of liquor. And you finally get done with the 4th tavern pickup. And now you're making your way back to his homestead. And as you do, Parable Pete kind of starts a bit of an awkward conversation with you. So,
How awkward.
So what do you think about death?
Excuse me?
Death, son. Death. What do you think about it?
Death is natural. It's an escape and yet a reality check.
Oh, yeah?
Nothing can be too good for too long.
Don't you ever wish at times that death could just stop taking people away from us?
Sometimes. But sometimes people go for a reason.
That's true. You know, I thought about killing a person before, but I didn't do it.
Oh, really?
I didn't do it.
Why is that?
I was once a soldier, matter of fact. Knew how to control a blade that was ever so sharp and grotesque. It left a nasty wound that would bleed for days, and they finally bled out. But I never really used that blade.
You know why that little girl was so scared of me?
I don't know.
Do you know who I am, Pete?
No, but I feel like I don't need to know much about you other than I don't mind being around you.
I'm what people would call Paladin of Conquest. I take what I want, when I want it, and however I see fit.
Really?
I've done my fair share of work.
Got it. Well, hopefully you don't have to go through that. And he makes this audible gasp. You don't hear anything and you don't see anything. But you immediately see Pete stop at his tracks. as if it sounded like the air just got sucked out of him. You see the people that were walking in front of Pete look kind of confused, looks back, and you see like one young woman in particular took one good look at Pete. At this point, y'all are not matching strides, so Pete is technically slightly in front of you a little bit, but when some people turn around, one woman shrieked in horror. A lot of people are confused about what's going on. Some people scurried off to the sides, and it's almost as if a ring is formed around you two, and you're just unsure what's happening until one of the children that was like oddly following you for some reason, one of the young girl speaks up and goes, "What did you do to him?"
I did nothing to him. I was only talking.
Then how do you explain that? And one of the little boys looks to you, Alvrarz, and he makes a gesture of pointing at his own right eye, and then he goes and points at his left eye, and he then points at you. Finally, you see Parable Pete fall over with the crate of liquor like bouncing off of his stomach but still remaining intact. As you finally see what Parable Pete just went through, and you just see the empty cavities of where his eyes were, with his mouth agaped with insects coming out of it. You immediately hear the shrill whistles, and it echoes throughout the town. We now turn our attention to all of you, but from different perspectives. We're going to rotate back to Izzy, to Isabela. Isabela, you still have the jar that contains Varys. But as you're like,
such a weird sentence.
But as you are like trying to sort out your tavern, you hear shrill whistles that indicates that the police have just been alerted of something serious. And it's happening just beyond the left side of the tavern from where you are. There's a lot of people that are running towards the source of where it's happening, with many people sustaining their curiosity as to what it is. How do you react to something like that?
Well, it's my tavern, my property. I gotta evacuate everybody as quick as I can. Because if it's drama, alright, I'll inform everybody later. If it's something I need to attend to personally, rather not everybody in on that. Thirdly, it's still rubble. Get out of my fucking building.
As you do that, you feel this cold shiver down your spine. You look, and you see that throughout all the carnage that just happened, you notice that there is a porcelain, what appears to be this porcelain-like construct that's looking up at the third floor, or what used to be the third floor, and seems to be in a trance, along with Manchester. This, like, skeletal cowboy being that's also in a trance, just like the construct. You then look over at the bar, and you notice that slumped over the bar table is an unconscious Dragonborn with a dagger that seems to have a note pierced on the bar top. We then turn our attention to Valka and Drukin. With Detect Magic, Drukin, you're able to detect a source of magic that is directly behind Valka. But then you hear shrill whistles that happens just to your left. In fact, it's happening inside the building of the police office. And all of a sudden, you see a group of uniformed men and women dressed in like this blue military jacket, blue pants, and black knee-high boots, and they're all armed with spears and warhammers attached to their belts along with other accessories, and they are headed towards the source of the whistle. Can I have both of you roll me charisma saving throws?
Oh, I'm outstanding at that. 27.
Okay. Okay.
That's a 15.
Okay. So, Valka, you feel this presence behind you that makes you feel dreadful, but you manage to keep yourself in check long enough to where you can bring some of your senses back. So you can bring yourself back to sense. But you definitely feel something intimidating is behind you. For Drukin, you feel that spine down your back. You feel that spine chill down your back. But it doesn't really affect you that much to where you're more aware of what's happening behind you and what's happening behind Valka without even having to turn around. You hear a set of what appears to be like leather boots hitting against the pave and the puddles of water that's in the alleyway. Do you wish to turn around?
So so I'm clear. There's the presence behind Valka,
Yeah.
and now I'm hearing someone walking up behind me.
No, this is the presence of boots that have just like walked upon a puddle of water, and it's now closer to Valka. So there's only one person.
okay.
Yeah.
Then yes, I'll turn around.
You turn around, and you see a black hood that's shielding most of the person's face except for a pair of golden yellow eyes that looks back at you.
Oh.
And you watch as you see movement within their like cloak, and automatically give me a contested strength check. This is now a grapple situation.
Okay.
So I'm currently watching.
Oh no, my strength is -1 now.
I'm seeing this going down, right? Like,
Yes, you're all of a sudden you just see this black cloaked figure dash straight towards Drukin with an unnoticeable sense of speed.
I'm gonna use my inspo on this.
What did you get?
7.
Okay. Roll again.
12.
26.
Wasted the answer.
You
Again.
you feel like you got like this monstrous strength of a grip on your left wrist, and Valka, you watch as this hooded figure slings Scorch from the alley into the streets and slings him over to the streets a good 20 feet away Scorch, you fly through the air. As you land on the ground with a thud, as the impact hits your abdomen, where you've already been wounded, as you scrape along the grounds leading behind this trail of blood. This cloaked figure now turns to look at Valka. Meanwhile, Scorch, take 2 points bludgeoning, 2 points poison.
I almost said heal. Oops. Okay.
So he's just staring me down at this point, right?
Yep, not saying anything. You notice that they have like these royal blue leather gloves that have like cuffs on them, and they're looking at you with an intense glowing glare. To your knowledge, you're not aware of someone like this, especially within the criminal network. So this is someone that you've yet to encounter before. This is what we call a 0-day attack.
I am. You know what? I'm gonna look at him, and first, before anything happens, I'm going to ask: did the boss send you? Is it my time to go? And just see if there's a response. Well, I'm gonna try and listen to see if I can hear any signs if they are a construct or if they are organic.
Okay. They do not respond. Instead, they are going to try to grapple you.
Can I argue, since I am smaller, I can attempt to sidestep out of there, since they need to actually reach down.
Absolutely.
Alright. So, have I successfully argued for Dex?
Can I think? Were they the same eyes that Tuunak pointed out to us when we were leaving the camp to go to Biyo? Were those the same eyes that we saw in the bush?
No.
Okay.
Alright, what did you get?
What do I roll? Have I argued for Dex?
You can do Dex. You can do Dex.
Okay, is this a check or saving throw?
This is a check.
Alright.
You're not gonna have too much trouble with this, I hope.
My Dex check is
I really
worse
hope.
than my saving throw. Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's anything else I can do. Alright, now. Can I attempt to use some more mage hand shenanigans? Or not enough time?
Not enough time.
Mage hand nanigans.
That's a 9.
Okay.
Let's see.
Despite your efforts to sidestep, they quickly are able to grab you mostly by the neck. But at this point, as they grip around your neck, you can feel that this is a mechanical hand that's holding you. As they toss you into the streets as well. This time 30 feet. And you land with a thud onto the ground. Take 3 points bludgeoning.
Can I attempt to land on my feet or no?
No.
Okay.
You see that there's like some people that are like yelping and shrieking when they see both of you getting tossed out from the alley. Some people are looking into the alley to see who it is, but when you two get up, you notice that that person is no longer there. Some people are also approaching you two and are like trying to help you, especially like to you, Scorch. There's like 2 like mature women that like basically like tossed their stuff aside and they went and they're checking on you. They flipped you over and they notice your wound, and one of them immediately gets out a stethoscope and starts analyzing you.
Thank God.
So Valka kind of shrugs it off and like just just points towards Drukin and says he needs more help than me right now. Like, just making sure that he's fine. Clearly unsure even if he is.
Yep.
Like, he directs him towards Drukin instead.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, we turn our attention back to Alvrarz and the remnants of Parable Pete.
Me, the bad guy. What the hell?
You watch as the crowd parts ways, and you see this tall, blonde, wood elf woman goes through the crowd and stands
Uh-oh.
with like this black petticoat with blue and gold buttons. You see that she's not wearing like a cap like everybody else. She's dressed with her hair in a ponytail. With black pants and black and blue striped boots. She looks at you, and she appears to be holding a spear with a silver, with like a silver staff, and a spearhead that appears to be made from onyx. She approaches you, Alvrarz, and goes, "May I have your name, please?"
A woman?
I'm not going to try to imitate a woman. I've tried. Listen, I've tried.
Completely understandable.
Name, please.
May I
Fine.
may I have your name, please?
So Alvarez, like, he pauses for like a brief second, and then goes, "My name is Tuunak."
Did you say... This is out of character. Did you say Tuunak?
Yeah.
Okay. Tuunak. Okay. May
Let's see
I...
if they buy it.
May I escort you to the station? We'd like to ask you some questions. Please.
Fine.
And she makes this gesture to, like, please, like, walk with the guards back. We do not push for any confrontation, and I appreciate it. So everyone here, please, this is now an investigation. This is a crime scene. Please do not step within a 20-foot radius from the body. And please, somebody take the darn liquor away. I just hate the smell of alcohol. And she parts ways, and you're walking back. There's a few officers that start, like, setting up these, like, small stones that are marked with, like, yellow painted runes. And when they set the stones in, like, a hexagonal shape on the ground, it forms this magical barrier that actually will prevent people from going to touch the body. And you see, as you walk away, one of the people tried touching it, and it electrocutes them.
Damn. Alvarez is gonna mutter something under his breath in Goblin.
Okay.
Something to the effect of you're lucky I'm not feeling up for it. Oh.
And it's a goblin?
Yes, in Goblin.
Okay. As you are walking with the squad, you... Give me a perception check. Let's just go with a perception check.
Let's see. That is a 16.
A 16? Okay.
Yeah.
You watch as you're going through the crowd. You notice that there are certain men and women from the crowd that are looking at you with this uneasy smile on their face. And you wonder, like, what's happening. Like, you're kind of, like, wondering what's going on. And as you start approaching the police station, you notice out of the corner of your eye that there is this black cloaked figure that's walking just 10 feet behind you. And you just hear final check for the session. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh Lord. Okay. My good sir. That is a 24.
You feel that familiar ejection of venom that goes through your body, yet somehow the venom does not appear to have any effect on you, despite its attempts. Though, you do feel a warm sensation on your abdomen as you take 13 points piercing damage.
Ouch.
The effects from the piercing damage is enough for you to have your body slump over, and your body just realizing, oh, you just got hit, as you fall to your knees involuntarily. You see and you hear the woman that was escorting you back to the station be like, guards, 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 I need a doctor. Wait, is it Dr. Priscilla? Help! To Drukin and to Valka, you hear this woman shouting out with the last words being Dr. Priscilla. And the woman then has the stethoscope in her ear perks up and looks up and sees that the uniformed guards need her. She then looks to you, Valka, and goes, well, I guess my visit is going to be a little bit busier than usual today. Come now, I must take your friend, and we will get you to this other person that is in need of our aid.
Mhm.
And she picks Drukin up with ease, and she looks at you, Valka, is like, come on, see if you can match my pace. And she's like wearing this like Victorian dress. It's emerald green with like a black waist belt.
Mhm.
And she has like her like doctor bag with her, and she's just carrying Drukin like over her shoulders like a fireman would, with just one arm supporting the body while she's holding the doctor bag. A stethoscope is still around her neck, and she's transporting over to where the guards are, and you look and you see Alvrarz with a similar wound on the abdomen. And that, my friends, is where we are going to end tonight's session.